Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, Wootini from the lamented here with another weekly video podcast. I'm going to start off by talking a little more about Pokémon Go, which I and everyone else in the human race seem to be playing. I'm still enjoying it. I have to say that I take some of the headlines I see with quite a few grains of salt, because I feel like half of them are made up anyway. Like, I think the guy who caused an accident in the highway by wandering into traffic, I think that was like a big fake. Some of them were like some guy in New York City crashed his car, like in the Bronx or something. That might be true. There was a video that was going around with a bunch of people late at night in Central Park, and they all were like running across the street into the dark woods and whatever because a Vaporeon was sighted over there. And some guy was taking a video of this and like laughing at them because they're all like running in the same direction. And I'm just like, what? Like, no. Just because the whole thing is kind of ridiculous. But also, it's like, you don't have to be right on top of the Pokemon to get it. As long as it pops up on your screen, you can tap it and try to catch it. And it will appear right in front of you. Whichever way your camera is facing, that's where that Pokemon's going to be. Occasionally you might have to turn a little bit, but it's right there. Like, as long as you've tapped it, it's going to appear in front of you. You don't have to be like, oh, that Pokemon is around the corner, I have to go around the corner to get it. No, as long as it's on your screen, you can just tap it and catch it. You know, if it's around the corner and down the block, it won't show up on your screen as something you can catch. So, all these stories of, like, people trying to get in people's backyards and trespassing and whatever, it's like, that doesn't seem necessary, you know? But, I can see the people who are trying to follow, because it tells you what Pokemon are in your area and how close they are, and by carefully monitoring that, like, if you're after a very specific Pokemon, and it's, like, 2 footprints away, you can, like, walk, and if it goes to 3 footprints away, you turn around and go the other direction until it's 1 footprint away, and then like you can kind of hone in on where it is. That will lead you to walk to different areas in your neighborhood or whatever. But, you know, you're not going to like wander into someone's yard, because honestly you should be paying attention to where you are and what you're doing. So, these people who are walking into traffic, walking into ponds, walking off cliffs, that didn't happen, I'm sure. That's just people being stupid. But I mean, people have always been walking around with their heads stuck in their phones, being stupid and rude and inconsiderate to everyone else. They've been doing that for years. So, you know, they're going to keep doing it even long after Pokemon Go is a fad in the distance. So, people are rude anyway, and they're going to be stupid, and they're going to do stupid things, so whatever. Like, I can't get mad at people for doing stupid Pokemon Go things, because they probably would have walked into traffic while they were checking their texts or Facebook anyway. So what's the difference? But I also kind of think I figured out like the tapping and swiping in a gym battle to attack and defend, or dodge, really. I was able to play a gym battle where, because I saw the gym around the corner from me had like this really weak Bulbasaur. It was my team, which is Team Mystic. And I thought, well, if I can beat that Bulbasaur, do I get to take its place in the hierarchy, and be part of this gym? No. I think you have to beat everybody, and then it'll let you be in the gym, or add you to the hierarchy, or whatever. But, I beat the Bulbasaur easily, because it wasn't that strong, and I'm like, oh, I have Magmar that I can kick its ass with, so I did that. But then it went to the next one, I forget what it was, but I had nothing that could beat it, so I was like, oh well. And so I got my ass handed to me. So I healed up and I tried it again, and I got really close to beating it, but I did not. And the problem is that now that I figured it out, like, all the gyms have, like, ridiculously powerful Pokemon, and my Pokemon are not that powerful. So I'm like, oh well, I should probably get out there and catch more. But I did realize I did have a panic, though, because I had, like, over 100 Pokeballs all the time, whatever. And then I had a panic because I realized I only had 30 left, and I went, ah! And I was like, I'm stopping. I'm only going to catch Pokemon I don't have. I need to get more ball. I need to go to all the Pokestops I can to get tons of Pokeballs. And as you level up, you also get more items too, which is helpful. But I'm not. I don't want to spend money to buy Pokecoins, to buy stuff. Although I would like to get some I almost feel like it's worth the $2 to buy the bag expansion, because you can only hold 350 items, and I'm constantly going to a Pokestop and being like, swipe, swipe, and it's like, your bag is full. And I'm like, ugh. Like, I was literally throwing away revives and potions so that I could build up my stock of Pokeballs instead. But I'm still having fun collecting Pokemon and taking the cute pictures. And I'll maybe at some point people will lose interest and I'll have a powerful enough Pokemon to maybe win a gym battle once or something. We'll see. Also, to follow up on last week's, I finished Inside, and it was great. And I totally understand now why everyone said, don't read anything about it, just play it. Just go and experience it. Because much like Playdead's earlier Limbo, this is the same kind of thing. They plunk you down in this world, and you work your way through this side-scrolling puzzle platformer, and you kind of develop the story along the way. What I do enjoy about the way that Playdead tells a story is that they don't, there's no dialogue, there's no like, here is the story. You just sort of, as you explore, the pieces start to coalesce and it creates a story, but it's also vague enough that you can sort of have your own interpretation of it, which some people might not like. I happen to love that. I think that's a great way to go, because everyone has a different experience. Like, because you're playing the same game, so you're having the same experience, but because the story is so mysterious, you might think this is what's going on, and your friend might think that's what's going on, and it's like, and then you can like talk about it and be like, oh, but what about this? And then like get new ideas, and it's very interesting. And the ending was just like, I was like, what is even happening? So I recommend it. Although I have to say, I guess, I don't know, it was $20, which I feel like is a little much. Like, I feel like $15 would have been a more realistic price, because I think I got Limbo for free. But there's a lot of these like indie games that come out and they're like $20, and I feel like they're really only worth paying $10 to $15 for. But I mean, $20 isn't like outrageous, so it's fine. The only problem is that I would probably mind less if I was going to go back and replay it to try to collect all of the trophy or achievements. It's Xbox One. Collect all the achievements and then get the secret ending or whatever. But I'm not going to do that. I'm probably not going to replay it because I played through it, I'm done, and I have to move on because I have all these other games that I have not yet finished or started. And while I have a whole bunch of games that I haven't started yet, I ended up buying a new game because Sony had a big sale on a bunch of indie games and stuff, and they had Everybody's Gone to the Rapture on sale. And it was on sale, like, marked down from 20 to 10, and then because it's PlayStation Plus, I get an extra little discount, so I got it for $8. And I remember when that game came out, I thought it sounded very intriguing, the graphics looked gorgeous, so I said, you know what, $8, I'm going to splurge and finally play this game. And it's stunning. Like, it's gorgeous. And I mean, I was like, whether or not I like the story or gameplay, I would like to buy this. I'm like, for me, it was like $8 was worth it just for this, like, British village simulation. You know, that I can walk around and walk into the pub and, like, go into this cottage and explore these woods, and just to be able to walk around with the birds tweeting, and it's just very relaxing. But as it turns out, though, I rather enjoy the story so far. I do have to say, I wish that it had a little more interaction, you know, like Gone Home, because all you really do is walk around and you look at things, and the most interaction you have is like opening and closing doors and turning on and off computers and radios. Like, that's basically, it's very, very limited. and a lot of the houses are completely locked, you can't get in, and I get it, because if there was more interaction, like I'd be going into every single house, and I'd be opening every single door, every single drawer, I'd be examining every single item, and you can't do that because Gone Home it worked because it's a small house, and it's contained, and you can just have the items within the house. With Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, it's an entire humongous village, and it's pretty big, so having that amount of detail to interact with, it's kind of insane to try to create that, and then also to play that would take forever. I mean, it would help because you'd get a lot more play value out of the game, but I feel like after a little while it would just become so tedious, and you're like, I just want to get going with the story, and I'm not going to look in this house. But me, I love to explore these kinds of games, so I'm always looking in every nook and cranny. Like, literally, if I go to a house, I see the door's locked, I know I'm not going to be able to get in this house. It's been locked up for the quarantine. I try it, doesn't work. I go around the back, I try every door. Not that they're going to be suddenly one will open, but I have to try, just like my brain just won't let me not do it. I have to try. I'm obsessive compulsive about that sort of thing in these games. But the graphics are gorgeous, the village is lovely, the story is super intriguing, and just like with Gone Home, and like Inside, like as you explore, the pieces fall into place, and you learn more and more and more. I think I might be just after the halfway point, I don't know. I think there's 4 sections. At the end of the first section, there was a moment, and if you look in my YouTube channel, I recorded the video because it was so beautiful. The music that was playing and the visuals that were happening, it was so beautiful it almost moved me to tears. So I recorded that video, and I put that scene up on YouTube because, wow, it was great. So check that out if you're curious. And then at the end of the second chapter, the same kind of moment happened, but because of what had happened at the end of the second chapter, I became suddenly very emotional, and as the lights came up and the music swelled, and I literally, this time I was actually moved to tears. Like, a tear rolled down my cheek. I swear to God. It's on my Instagram. I took a picture of it to prove it, that a video game moved me to tears. I mean, that's happened before, but this one just, like, I don't even know what's going on in the story for real, but what I think is going on, and that moment, and the music, and the visuals, it was so beautiful. It was moving, which is unusual. So, I look forward to finishing that. Maybe I'll have it done by next week. We'll see. Probably. And I'll see you back here next week. And if you want to see more of my fun Pokemon Go photographs, you can always check out my Instagram. It's Wootini. That's my name on the internet. And I'll see you back here next week, and we'll talk about something else. Bye!